two incredible places. We love the people. Hate has no place in our country, and we're going to take care of it.
A nation stunned, 29 lives gone in less than 24 hours. Even more innocent civilians were wounded in two separate mass shootings. The deadliest shooting happened in El Paso, Texas, yesterday afternoon when a man opened fire in a Walmart. The latest shooting happened early this morning when 9 people were killed outside the entertainment district in Dayton, Ohio. Good evening, and thank you for watching WGXA News at 10. I'm Jayla Whitfield.
One more shots fired. Dispatch. We got shots fired. We got multiple people down. We're going to need multiple medics. Somebody take each side of 5th Street. East 5th. And by the Oregon Emporium. 5th down by Wayne. We're going to need to shut the whole street down. We think there's one shooter. He is down.
It was a minute of sheer terror in Dayton, Ohio, when a gunman fired dozens of shots, killing 9 people and injuring 27 others. Police killed the shooter within that minute. We want to warn you, some of the images you're about to see might be disturbing. Our reporter, Anjana Levy, has the latest on the shooting at a popular entertainment district.
Parts of the Oregon district here in Dayton are still a crime scene tonight, but behind this tape, there are signs of hope. Less than 24 hours after Connor Betts went on a rampage through the Oregon district, people in Dayton came together to pray and honor the 9 people whose lives were taken in less than a minute.
The city needs a lot of prayer. We need a lot of prayer, and I know they're taking prayer out of a lot of things, but prayer needs to continue because prayer does work.
9 people were killed, including shooter Connor Betts' younger sister, 22-year-old Megan Betts.
He was wearing a mask, a bulletproof vest, and hearing protection.
Surveillance video shows people running for their lives as Connor Betts fired a .223 rifle purchased legally online from Texas. Betts had a small arsenal, drum magazines with 100 rounds. Dayton's police chief says Betts came to the Oregon district with his sister and a friend, but they split up at some point. The friend was also wounded. Betts' car was found nearby with a shotgun in it. 5 officers and a sergeant on patrol heard the shots and within 20 seconds engaged Betts. Video shows officers shooting Betts within 30 seconds in front of Ned Pepper's bar.
Had this individual made it through the doorway of Ned Pepper's, with that level of weaponry, there would have been a catastrophic injury and loss of life.
Police Chief Richard Beal said that there's still a lot of work to be done to determine why Connor Betts did this. He also said that Betts didn't have much of an adult record, just some speeding tickets and nothing that would have prevented him from buying the guns that he had. In Dayton, Ohio, I'm Anjanette Levy reporting.
Now here's a closer look at the surveillance video. It shows people falling to the ground and taking cover in Dayton, Ohio. Someone from the bar actually grabbed the barrel of the rifle right before officers arrived and shot and killed Betts. Police say he had a .223 high-capacity gun, was wearing body armor, and had additional magazines with him. Authorities issued a search warrant on Betts' family home in Bellbrook, Ohio, but the motive remains unclear.
We are treating it as a domestic terrorism case, and we're going to do what we do to terrorists in this country, which is deliver swift and certain justice.
Recovering from tragedy, El Paso is in mourning after Saturday's shooting killed 20 people and wounded another 26. The alleged gunman could be put to death if found guilty. Teams of investigators are in the area where the alleged gunman grew up, trying to uncover any other clues that may have led to this shooting. Our correspondent Joe Galli is at the vigil where people have come to mourn and celebrate the lives of those taken in this massacre.
Look at all of these people from all over El Paso. They've come to this baseball diamond just about 500 feet away from the Walmart where the shooting took place. They're gathering here to sing songs and to pray and to stay El Paso strong. People from all over El Paso packed into a small park for a candlelight vigil. It's just about 500 feet away from the Walmart where 20 people were murdered. Family members say 25-year-old Jordan Enchando was killed while shielding her 2-month-old son from gunfire. The Associated Press reports the mother of 3 was buying school supplies, something many of the victims of Saturday's shooting were likely doing at this Walmart. Family members of survivors wait outside hospitals to see if their loved ones will recover.
She's in stable condition. My dad is still fighting for his life.
Investigators say the suspect, 21-year-old Patrick Crucius, is being cooperative. 3 properties in the Dallas area where Crucius was from have been searched.
The state charge is capital murder, and so he is eligible for the death penalty. We will seek the death penalty.
Federal investigators are looking at a 4-page manifesto where the shooter allegedly wrote his motivation was to kill as many Mexicans as possible.
We're treating it as a domestic terrorism case.
Federal prosecutors are looking at the strong possibility that firearms and hate crimes charges could be added. Those federal charges could also come with the death penalty. All the people on this baseball diamond are also sending their prayers to the people up in Dayton, Ohio, who are going through the same situation. Reporting in El Paso, I'm Joe Galley.
Yeah, I think the 2 tragedies, the shootings, has been awful. I think it's more geared to the people that are using the weapons rather than the guns themselves. People need to be more responsive and use weapons for what they're intended for.
After devastation hits across America, leaving almost 30 people dead, the Macon community reacts to the mass shootings that have happened in the last 24 hours. Some community members didn't even know what shootings recently took place when we took the streets today, but others say this is a time for everyone to come together to seek change.
Just a sad sight, the days that we're living in now, that is a lot of evil in the land, and it's going to take a lot of careful consideration with a lot of prayer and concern one for another, and hope and trust that these incidents will cease and desist and all will be well again.
Now, President Trump has declared that the flag of the United States shall be flown at half-staff at the White House, upon all public buildings and grounds, military posts, naval stations, and naval vessels until August 8th. We've actually lowered our flag here at WGXA in the respect for the victims that lost their lives this weekend. In other news tonight, it's developing right now. Officials are on the scene of a fatal wreck in Butts County. It happened on Highway 42 near Bibb Station Road. According to GDOT, all lanes are blocked in the area, and motorists are advised to find an alternative route. And deputies say an armed robbery took place at a North Macon gas station around yesterday afternoon. According to police, 2 male suspects entered the business, demanded money from the clerk, and once the suspects received the money, they ran from the store. Now, no one was injured, but anyone with information in reference to this incident is urged to contact the Bibb County Sheriff's Office. That number is 478-751-7500. And a 59-year-old man was found in a car at a vacant service lot on Saturday. The man was identified as Anthony Drixdale of Macon. It's believed Drixdale was dead for about an hour before he was found. At this time, officials do not believe there was foul play in his death. In the past month, there have been 3 people found dead inside of cars in the Macon area. None of the deaths have any suspicion of foul play. 66-year-old Linda Jerez was found deceased inside of her car at Haven Hotel off of Riverside Drive less than 2 weeks ago. And on July 21st, a man was found in his car at the Batteries and Bulbs off of Tom Hill Senior Boulevard. The 61-year-old man died of natural causes, according to officials.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jeff Cox in for Jake Mammon on this Sunday evening. Hope the weekend has treated you well. It's been stormy for some of us, and tonight storms continue. Let's take you right down to the county level, show you what we're tracking at this hour. Notice we've got some showers and storms in western Houston County. This is going to be in the Perry area, so heavy rain and thunder and lightning. All of this will be drifting east towards Kathleen, Sandbed, and Clenchfield. So heads up, you've got some heavy rain and some thunder and lightning moving in your direction. Also in North Pulaski County, north of Hawkinsville, some pockets of heavy rain. That's drifting towards Cochran. And also tonight, showers and storms in parts of Dooley and Wilcox County and Crisp County as well. We're running some information on the bottom of your screen about this storm in Crisp County. Very heavy rain and frequent lightning in the Cordell area. This is all moving east, so heads up, Rochelle could be coming into Wilcox County in the next little bit. So south of Macon, showers and storms continue. Certainly keeping an eye on the radar. Watch the bottom of your screen for updates, and we'll have another look at these storms coming up in just a few minutes. Jayla?
Two mass shootings have caught the attention of Capitol Hill. I'm Angelica Alvarez in Washington, where there are renewed talks for gun control.
Welcome back. A country stunned by two mass shootings, with Americans now looking to Washington for some answers. For that part of our coverage, we turn to Sinclair national correspondent. She has the details.
Twin tragedies shocking the country. President Trump tweeting, "God bless the people of El Paso, Texas. God bless the people of Dayton, Ohio." Some of the Democratic candidates for president saying they want more from President Trump, even blaming him, saying he's encouraging more racism in this country.
It's not enough to say that I'm not a hate monger myself. If you are not actively working against hate, calling it out, you are complicit in what is going on.
We've got to acknowledge the hatred, the open racism that we're seeing, but we also see it from our commander-in-chief, and he is encouraging this. He doesn't just tolerate it, he encourages it.
Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney defending the president, saying mass shootings are something that predates the Trump administration by years.
The president is just as saddened by this as you are. The president is just as angry by this as you are and wants to do something about it just as much as everybody else does.
In the wake of these tragedies, there are calls for Congress to fix the nation's gun laws, but they're in recess until after Labor Day. However, there are calls for lawmakers to come back to Washington.
I hope that Senator McConnell would bring the Senate back tomorrow and pass the background check bill and send it to the president. The president must sign it, period.
Senator Brown is talking about a bill that the House passed in February that requires background checks on all firearm sales in the country. Right now, only licensed gun dealers have to do background checks. Unlicensed dealers do not. In the debate on new gun legislation, some lawmakers will point to statistics, such as from gunviolencearchive.org, showing that while every shooting is tragic, mass shootings account for a fraction of gun deaths in America. Reporting in Washington, I'm Angelica Alvarez.
Not one more! Not one more! Not one more! Not one more!
Hundreds of mothers and students marched in Washington demanding lawmakers to take action on gun violence. The group Moms Demand Action met Saturday in the hours after the mass shooting in El Paso. They held signs and chanted as they walked from the White House to the U.S. Capitol Hill. The group says, quote, "If our lawmakers won't act, make no mistake, we will replace them with those who will." In Georgia, lawmakers are sending prayers of support in the wake of the two devastating shootings this weekend. Governor Brian Kemp tweeted, "The Kemp family is praying for Texas in the aftermath of the El Paso shooting. Our hearts go out to the victims and their loved ones. We are deeply grateful for the law enforcement, first responders, and citizens lending critical aid in this time of need." Also, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms tweeted, quote, "Mass shootings, hatred from the highest office, and the blatant disregard for humanity cannot and will not be normalized in America. Faith without works is dead. We must set aside fear and put on our thoughts and prayers into action." Ahead on WGXA News at 10, parents are finding a new way to protect their students from guns at school. Find out what they're buying coming up next. Welcome back. Some parents are adding a new item to the back-to-school shopping list: bulletproof backpacks. Since a mass shooting at a Parkland, Florida high school last year, more and more parents are turning to this added level of protection for their children.
Parents across the country are buying bulletproof backpacks. What used to be something used by military contractors is now being sold at places like Walmart and Office Depot. We took a bullet-resistant insert from one of those backpacks to a gun range just outside of Austin. We shot it with a .380, 9mm, and .45 caliber handgun.
It did stop the bullet. You can feel the bullet right in there.
Well, what good is stopping the bullet if at the end of the day that same gunshot killed you?
Exactly.
The bullets didn't make it through, but the force of the impact could still be lethal.
Concentrating the point of impact on a smaller area as opposed to hard armor, which kind of spreads it out over a larger area.
So we went another route to this hard plate, which fits into almost any backpack. Roman Zherzhevsky says parents from coast to coast are buying these for their kids from Austin-based Ready-to-Go Survival. We put it to the same test. It did well. We were even able to pull out a .45 caliber slug. So we went a step further and lit it up with a dozen 9mm rounds.
As you can see, this has been shot to heck. Nothing.
The likelihood of your child being a victim of a mass shooting is extremely remote, and if a shooter were to be using an assault rifle, these bulletproof inserts wouldn't do much to stop it. But that won't stop parents from looking for more peace of mind when their kids go back to school. Joe Galley, News 4 San Antonio.
And in Georgia news tonight, police say a woman was shot and killed outside an Atlanta strip club early this morning. Just after midnight, a woman in her 40s was found with gunshot wounds at Magic City, a popular adult entertainment club in the area. The shooter remained on scene and is now in custody. There were two women. They were in a car together outside of the parking lot when they got into an argument. That argument escalated into gunfire. Also, more in Georgia news, a kidnapping suspect was shot and killed by police in a Kroger parking lot Saturday afternoon. When police arrived, the man tried to run but was tackled by officers, and he was pulled out a knife in the process. A police officer then shot and killed the man with a single shot. The GBI says the suspect's identity is being withheld for now. Details about the alleged kidnapping case have not been released at this moment.
Current time 10:19. We're live over downtown Macon with our Wilson Bryant Heating and Air Skycast Network. We're dry here in downtown tonight, although Macon has seen its share of showers and downpours earlier today. Other parts of the mid-state getting in on that rain right now. I'll show you a live look at the radar in just a moment, but currently at 79, we tackle your Monday school day forecast with lower 70s at the bus stop. We'll be up into the low 80s by lunchtime and close to 90 for the ride home. But look at that. Once again, a good scattering of showers and thunderstorms during the day. So have the umbrella ready to go, kiddos. And mom and dad taking it to work with you might not be a bad idea either. Tonight, here's a live look at the radar. It's everything south of Macon that we're tracking tonight. We'll take you into parts of Crawford, Peach, and Houston counties where the heavy rain is coming down right now. So from Roberta to Fort Valley, a line of heavy rain with a little bit of thunder and lightning. Centerville, you've got some heavy rain pushing through. That shower coming out of Perry seems to be fizzling pretty quickly, but some rain moving into places like Kathleen in the next few minutes. All of this rain will be drifting east, so Warner Robins, heads up, you could have a downpour or two coming in your direction. Stronger storms to the south. We're in Dooley and Crisp counties and Wilcox right now. Pinehurst to Vienna, awful ride on 75 right now. That heavy rain pushing east, so Wallace and Finlayson, the heavy rain, some of you are already seeing it, and more could be on the way. And in Crisp County, we're running that information on the bottom of your screen about this storm in Cordell. This also moving east. If it can hold together, Rochelle and western Wilcox County, you'll have some nasty weather moving in. So late this evening, once again, showers and storms impacting parts of the mid-state. Not severe, but they are on the strong side with that thunder and lightning. So if you hear that thunder, get indoors and let them pass on through. Let's talk about what's coming our way. A very summer-like forecast with hot temperatures coming and the chance for pop-up storms in the afternoon and evening. But that means no widespread organized rain. So for most of middle Georgia, rainfall potential over the next 7 days is not very impressive. It looks like the more impressive totals will be south of Macon and Warner Robins. This gets you over the next week. What about week number 2? Well, at that point, our precipitation trends average. So in other words, that summer-like trend with pop-up thunderstorms, it continues for the next couple of weeks. August rolling on with a very typical late summer-like trend. All right, here's what the 10-day forecast looks like. Pop-up storms every day this week. I think the bigger story, it's going to get hot. We're back to the mid-90s Tuesday, Wednesday, upper 90s Thursday and Friday, including a 99 Friday afternoon. It'll start tapering off by next weekend, but this is a forecast that is mainly above average. Your Fish and Game forecast brought to you by Harrison's Body Shop. We're in the excellent range at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning and in the good range at 6:20 tomorrow evening. Stay tuned. We've got more news and weather after this.
I'm relieved that Eric has gone by.
However, it has now saturated the ground. And so I'm concerned about Flossie because that is coming forward at us, and I don't know if the land will be able to handle the additional rain.
Tropical Storm Flossie is headed for Hawaii tonight. It comes on the heels of Tropical Storm Eric, which dumped heavy rain on parts of Hawaii. Eric passed south of the islands Friday morning. As it weakened, Flossie could start to impact Hawaii with rain as soon as tonight. We are tracking the tropics tonight, and it's in the Pacific that you'll find the most activity. So here's Hawaii. Tropical storm and now tropical depression Eric is moving away from the islands, and all of the storms basically getting blown away from the center of circulation. Coming now in towards the islands, Tropical Storm Flossie, which you heard her, she's very concerned about. Flossie will track on the north end of the islands, but will spin some moisture in, so they will get some heavy rain there as well. And behind it, Tropical Depression Gil. Not very impressive looking, but there is a third system out there that they will have to keep an eye on. Back closer to home in the Atlantic, all things are quiet. No tropical development expected within the next 5 days. That little wave we've been watching over the last several days that originated off the coast of Africa, that's all that's left of it, folks, and it has no organization to it. So some showers and storms for the Caribbean, and that's it. They'll be just fine. Jayla, back to you.
Thanks, Jeff. And school is officially back in session for most students here in Middle Georgia. And for athletes, that means afternoon practices start back up as they begin their season. Check out the story from our WGXA's Jake Mammon.
School is officially back in session for most students here in Middle Georgia. And for athletes, that means afternoon practices start back up as they begin their season. With every year comes new obstacles, but there's something that always lingers: heat. For one coach, making sure his players are ready can be something that's always on his mind.
They're not in school, so they don't eat breakfast, they don't eat lunch, they come to practice. You know, we practice now at 3 o'clock in the hottest part of the day, because I feel like that's when you're going to start practice, when you start school.
However, no matter the circumstances, Coach Carroll says safety is first and foremost.
People sometimes take safety for granted. We don't. You know, we're going to make sure the kids are properly equipped. We're going to make sure that they're taught the right way to tackle, and we're going to make sure that the weather is right for us to be able to practice.
When it comes to heat and practicing, or just weather in general, some steps are put in place in order to practice.
Georgia high schools come in and decided that what you've got to do before every practice, you've got to do a wet bulb, and they go off the humidity, and we do that. We have a coach that goes out and does it, and we check it and make sure if it's at the right spot. If it's not at the right spot, you only can practice 1 hour.
And for the Howard High School football team, they have a routine when it comes to practicing in the heat.
We give those guys an opportunity every single time to get water when they need it. That's something that we do at practice, and we'll go 10 minutes to go full speed, and then we'll take a 5-minute water break.
Be ready for that heat this week, definitely.
Well, it's definitely going to be hot, upper 90s by Thursday and Friday.
Okay, you guys get prepared. Thanks so much for watching WGXA News at 10.
Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.